Hi everyone, my name is Gaby and Core 2021 is out this weekend. So I thought something fun we could do today is take a look at the top 8 cards for Limited specifically from Core 2021. So these are cards that are so powerful that you should pack one, pick one them. If they're in your sealed pool, you should try to play them, very, very much so. And if you get past one of these cards, or maybe you open one in pack 2, maybe even pack 3, you could consider switching into these colors because the cards are that good. Before we actually get into the cards, this video is brought to you by Wizards of the Coast and channelfireball.com. So thank you both for sponsoring today's video, and let's get started. All right, coming in at number 8, we have Enthralling Hold, which is going to be the only uncommon to make this list, but it's a very powerful uncommon at that. Enthralling Hold is basically mind control. It has the one downside that you have to target something of theirs that's tapped, which means that you have to take a hit from the creature, which could be a lot of damage, or it might have a good attacks trigger or something. But once you've already dealt or found a way to tap it, then you can just steal it. And then this is awesome because you both neutralize their biggest threat and then add it to your side of the board. Fantastic card. You have to be really aware that this card is going to be commonly seen in the format, given that it's an uncommon. So if you think your opponent has Enthralling Hold, you might want to hold back with your best creature. It will change the way you play the game because you want to make sure your best thing doesn't get stolen. So just a good one to keep in mind, and extremely powerful one at that. So definitely a high pick. At number 7, we have Sublime Epiphany, which is awesome. This card is just a total bomb. Has a lot of text, so let's go through it real quick. You can choose one or more, and there are 5 options. Counter target spell, counter target activated or triggered ability, return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, create a token that's a copy of target creature you control, and target player draws a card. So in the event where, and it's an instant, so if you just pass with 6 mana, your opponent plays something, you get to counter their creature, bounce something of theirs. It could be a permanent too, so it doesn't even have to be just a creature. Bounce something of theirs, make a copy of your best creature, draw a card. That is unbelievable for 6 mana. That's just like an incredible rate. Let's say that maybe you don't actually, maybe they don't cast anything. Maybe they suspect that you have the card. Then at the end of the turn, you still go, copy my best creature, draw a card, bounce one of your things. And that's already worth the 6 mana. So if you actually get 3 of them, like, you're happy, and you can almost always get 3, right? You'd have to have something weird happen, like you don't have a creature in play or something. If you actually get to counter one of their things, you're just so far ahead now. You both got to copy your best card, and they didn't resolve whatever their bomb was or whatever creature they're about to play. And the one that is going to be very hard to get to happen is the counter target activated or triggered ability. Like, yeah, that might happen. And sometimes you won't counter a creature. You'll just counter the triggered ability and then do the other stuff. So you're not going to see that mode super often. But just all in all, this card is a bomb. It's really, truly amazing. Definitely worth picking. Number 6, we have Elder Gargaroth, which I actually got to play in my pre-release pool. It was really nice. He's just kind of a big green dummy, but he's really good at being a big green dummy. So 5 mana, Vigilance Reach, Trample for 6/6, and it has a lot of text. Whenever it attacks or blocks, which is hidden keyword, by the way, because I think people don't realize that it's not just on attacks, it's also on blocks. You can either make a 3/3, gain 3 life, or draw a card. So if you get to attack and just draw a card, it already replaced itself. It's also a 6/6 VG Trample Reach, which means that it's very hard for your opponent to block it. So they either have to, throw a bunch of stuff on their squad in front of your thing, or actually use a premium removal spell on it. If you're really low on life for whatever reason, you can just gain 3 life, and that can just get you, buy you some time if you need that. And you can also make a 3/3 at the end. So if you just want more board presence, if you feel like you're doing well enough with cards, like almost always I think it's better to just draw a card here, but leaving behind a 3/3 green beast token is awesome. Like, it can just let you also attack and have a board presence for when they try to attack you back. So it makes racing this thing really difficult. Coming in at number 5, we have Baneslayer Angel, which is actually one of my favorite cards from when I started playing Magic. I think this card's amazing. I love it. And the art is awesome. So Baneslayer is a 5/5 flyer, and it's got a bunch of text. It's got flying, first strike, and lifelink, and then it has the French vanilla text of protections from demons and dragons, which can come up not super often, but it's good to keep in mind. So the only downside of Baneslayer is that it dies to removal. You can just go, turn 5, play Baneslayer, your opponent goes on top, kill your Baneslayer, you're out your Baneslayer, and now you're probably in trouble. But if your opponent doesn't immediately kill this as soon as you play it, you're so far ahead. Baneslayer is impossible to attack into. It's a 5/5 first striker. It's also impossible to raise because it's a 5/5 lifelinker and it has flying, so it's almost assuredly going to connect, or your opponent's at least not going to have creatures big enough to block it. So amazing card, definitely worth playing white for this. Coming in at number 4, we've got Ugin, the Spirit Dragon. Ugin makes a comeback. I love Ugin. It's fantastic. It is 8 mana, which is the downside. That's really expensive. That's a lot in limited, but you're going to win the game when you play this. You're just going to go play Ugin, sweep the board, everything dies, and then you just go +2/+2, and then whenever your opponent plays something big enough, you just, bolt that instead of bolting them, and then you just keep bolting their face until you eventually win. So a lot of times you play 8 mana cards. You don't always win the game on the spot, but you almost always will with Ugin, which is why it's so high up on this list. Something to keep in mind is that if you open an Ugin, you might want to try to be green, because green will help you get more ramp and more stuff to actually get to resolve an Ugin, but you can really play it in any color. Number 3, we've got Massacre Worm. Massacre Worm is a card I love playing with in Cube. Definitely not that good in Cube, but it is awesome. Truly a bomb in Core 2021. It's hard to cast. It's 6 mana and black in the mana cost. But you get a 6/5 with a really cool ability. When it ETBs, all your opponent's creatures get -2/-2. So immediately you're just gonna wrath a bunch of their things. And you can even do something clever like attack your 2/2 into their 4/4. And if they block, you might still be able to kill, like even if you chump attacked, you still get to kill their 4/4. So you can get creative with how you play Massacre Worm. And then the second part of it is whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, they lose 2 life. So as soon as you play Massacre Worm, you're just going to deal them like 4 to 6 damage. Like that's just almost always going to happen. And then after that, they still have to deal with a 6/5 body, which is huge. And they still have to deal with a passive, which continues to persist even after, Massacre Worm does the ETB thing. So opponent's going to have a really hard time beating this card. Like I said, it is difficult to cast, but well worth the cost. At number 2, we've got Chandra, Heart of Fire, which is a bomb. It's 5 mana. Which is not that expensive. She comes in with 5 loyalty, and she doesn't even have down abilities. She only ticks up. So for the first ability, you discard your hand, then you exile the top 3 cards of your library, and you can play them until end of turn. So it's card draw spell. I mean, you have to make sure that you don't have any cards left in your hand, or maybe just have lands, you don't care about discarding them. All good. You have to be careful about not decking yourself. You could easily do that with this card, but it is a great card advantage engine. The second +1 ability is you just deal 2 to any target, so you can kill their stuff, or you can start going face if you're really far ahead. That's something you could do. For the ultimate, it doesn't even really matter. You're probably already winning by the time you're ultimating the Chandra, but it essentially lets you flash back a bunch of spells, or even get them out of your deck if you still have any. So, and then it gives you 6 mana so you don't even have to worry about having like the mana to cast those spells. So if you ever are ultimating Chandra, good for you, but you were already winning. And at number 1, we've got Terror of the Peaks. I mean, look at this card. Like, seriously, look at this card. It's just outrageous. The card's so good. It's a 5 mana 5/4 flyer that has a really punishing ability. If your opponent tries to target it, they're going to take 3 life. It's going to cost them 3 life to actually do it. So already it's hard to kill. And then the second ability just lets you accumulate so much value. If you play another creature and it enters the battlefield under your control, you deal damage to any target, not just like their face. Like if it was just their face, this card would be just excellent already, but it's any target, so you could even use that as a kill spell, like play my 4-drop, kill your 4-drop sort of thing. You're just gonna run away every game where you play this card. I mean, yes, even if they kill it immediately, they're still gonna take 3 life, but sometimes you're just gonna go like this card into a 2-drop, and then your opponent just cannot win. This card is incredible. It just really doesn't get better than this in limited. And that does it. Thank you so much for joining us for the countdown of top 8 limited cards for Core 2021. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it helps you in the pre-release. Let me know if you actually open any of these bombs in your either draft or seal pool, and I'll see you next time. If you like this video, you can subscribe for more. And if you want to come say hi to us on the live stream, that's on twitch.tv/GabySpartz. I stream every weekday in the afternoons, Mountain Times. See you later.